You found TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. In just a few minutes, we'll be right with you with another award-winning, action-packed edition of your Tony Basilio Show. You found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio Show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Tony Basilio, welcome you to another edition. It is your Tony Basilio show. We're fired up, focused, and prepared to be with you today. What the worst kept secret in the college basketball world became official yesterday. Quick courtship. Tennessee lands their guy. For some reason, I was in all-time goofy mode yesterday, and I referred to Washington as Brown on the what can Brown do for you, you know? But anyway, I was in all-time goofy mode, and here we are. So we're fired up, focused and prepared to be with you. We're kind of pumped. So here we are. I'm live today in beautiful Ocean City, New Jersey. I'm sitting outside, relaxing and enjoying myself here. It's kind of a beautiful day, like 80 degrees or so. Got a chance yesterday to sit on the boardwalk and play some music on Tennessee Operating, walking a guy into the courts, walking a guy into the portal, knowing that Vandy's roster was full, and orchestrating this. Matt, your thoughts?
It's a really good pickup, especially with this timing, and you get that ruling to where he's kind of eligible. Yep. I think he was already in the portal, which makes it, I think, kind of a seamless transition. There's some questions about other guys being with the fifth year in that court ruling, but yeah, it's a great pickup. It's a guy that you saw firsthand and was actually pretty good against you. I think the game in TBA, he was really, really good early and helped Vandy build that lead. So it's a really nice pickup at a position of need, in a position of need that's really hard to find in the portal, especially this late in the process. So it's a really good pickup for Tennessee.
And here's the thing about it. They knew Vanderbilt's roster was full. Here's my thing this time. This is me now, okay? I never sign a full roster, Matt, in the current climate. And now Vanderbilt reclassed a kid, a really good player, to get to a full roster. So I guess you could make the case that they did a smart thing. But, Matt, I never, ever, ever, ever sign a full roster in today's day and age. The way the courts are in any of these sports, Matt, I try to keep a spot open.
Yeah. And I think Barnes has been doing that already, like maybe even more than one, just to do it, just to keep a couple of spots and just not have a huge roster because you got to pay guys. But yeah, I agree. You need in basketball, especially, keep one, maybe two. Football, you can keep a couple. Baseball is a little bit trickier because you need all the arms you can get, and you have to have that thing finalized early. But yeah, if you can keep your roster, keep a one or two spots open to where you can just wedge a guy in there, it can be very, very beneficial. We saw it. I guess it was Jarnell Stokes in a totally different situation.
That's right.
And they got Jarnell Stokes at mid-year, and largely because they were one of the few teams that had a roster spot open. So yeah, it's a really good strategy to have in all these sports if you can manage it.
I do think the Vols are going to grab as well. In baseball, I think they're trying to get Chapman back. I think he's got a couple of pro options that he's sort of weighing right now in terms of camp opportunities next year. But here's the deal. I don't know how hard of a sell it's going to be for him, for them, whichever the case. Because, Matt, at the end of the day, there's not going to be baseball next year. So, and he would get an opportunity to come back. Chapman would help the baseball team, yes?
Absolutely, yeah. He was probably your most consistent hitter this past year. Maybe take a small jump, stats wise, especially if he could increase the power again. So yeah, he'd be easily an all SEC type right fielder for you going into the season. Absolutely. And he's a really good team leader, kind of clubhouse guy, to continue some of that continuity that I think you do need a little bit of in this era. So yeah, if you can get Reese Chapman back, that'd be huge. That'd be just a massive get for you. it was curious. One, he didn't get drafted, which not a total surprise, but thought a team would take a flyer on him because, he doesn't have a lot of negotiating power. But for him not to sign, I figured something like this was kind of up because he certainly would at least had opportunities to go ahead and begin his pro career.
So we'll see what happens on that front, and certainly we'll monitor the situation. And when news breaks out, we'll break in. We told you yesterday that this thing was a fait accompli, that Washington was going to be a vault. One of the things we have, one of the great resources we have available to us is a guy who's been around college sports now for 40 years, college and professional sports. He's risen through the NBA ranks to like assistant GM spots. He's been a scout. He's also got his company that he still owns called Global Sports International. They do basketball tournaments essentially all over the world. Tennessee's played in a couple of his tournaments in the past. Put your hands together, meet and greet the great Maury Hanks as he's in here now. And Brian, he's joining us through the app with Matt Dixon. Maury, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Tony. I hope you're keeping your shirt on up there at the shore. There's got enough scary people like Ed Stefanski that's walking around without a shirt on.
Hey, Mo, one thing about the beach, it doesn't matter where you go, whether it's South Carolina, Florida, Alabama, you name it, you come to the beach, you're going to see some freaks. And I wonder if people, Maury, when I was walking around on the boardwalk in the afternoon, in the rain, Maury, with a speaker tied to me playing music, were thinking I was a freak, Maury. What do you think?
Oh, there's people that I know at Lakeshore that call me, take a picture of you, say, "Isn't this your friend?" I say, "Yes, please throw a net over him. I'll call the authorities." I mean, so I can just, but there's more people up there like you, Tony. So you're fitting in well.
The Vols add Jalen Washington. He's 6'10", he's 240. Spent 25, 26 with the Vanderbilt Commodores. Played 3 years before that at North Carolina. Maury, this is a classic case of a guy, sort of like the Broom guy that played at Auburn. These big, wide body guys, NBA basketball doesn't have a spot for them, Mo, does it?
No, but one thing about Broom was at a lower level. I mean, this guy has played, I think that's one reason Tennessee's excited to get him. Even though he didn't play a lot at Carolina, he played 20 minutes a game last year in the SEC. So they're going to get a guy that when he goes into Alabama or he goes into, when he plays against Florida, he's not going to go, oh my, and be afraid of the moment. I think that's first and foremost. He's seen everything that they're going to throw at him in terms of competition and excitement level. But Broom played at Morehead State. I think Broom's got some more offensive ability than this guy does. But I think it's a huge pickup, especially so late in the year. And I heard you guys talking earlier. It's a great situation for them to have the scholarship open.
Well, to me, Mo, in these sports right now, all of them, I'm keeping roster spots because the courts are running my sports now. I've got to keep openings, Maury, don't I? I mean, I have to.
Yeah, because you just don't know, what it's going to change from, not season to season, but week to week. And if you've got spots available now, August 1st, you can go grab a kid like that.
Maury, inside they have not internally, okay. And I know you talk to people I talk to. They did not like outside of Brown. They don't like the people they have at center. They just don't. And look, you're going to swing and you're going to miss sometimes. And then you're in a portal and it's late in the game. And, they think a couple guys will help them defensively, but, defend the rim, etc. But a couple of these guys are sort of lost. So what will Washington add to them when you think about him and you think about where they are?
Well, like I said, first and foremost, experience at a high level. Again, it's different if you're playing in a mid-major basketball. You may be a good player and you may come up and, Coach Barnes done a great job of getting guys, but to be, to play inside the SEC or to play inside the Big 12 or the Big 10, it usually takes you till February to get accustomed to it. This guy's not going to need that run-up period. He's going to be able to. They're going to be able to put him on the floor in November, and he's going to know, what that competition level is. But he, first and foremost, I think he adds rim protection, like you talked about, his size, 6'10", 240, 245. The experience level adds a lot of length, which some people are very, enamored with. He does, from again what I've heard, Tony, he doesn't need to be great. This isn't a guy that needs to come in and overnight needs to be the kid Broom you said from Auburn. He doesn't need to come and score 20 points a game, because I don't think he can do that. But he doesn't need to do that for Coach Barnes and his staff. And with the players they have around him, as you said, they may be lacking in the front court. All this does is add another piece. I heard you guys talking earlier, and I just mentioned about keeping a spot or two open now that, you can't do basically walk-ons. You have 15 scholarships. Well, back in the day, Tony, I think if you remember when Cam Carr left, I think, a lot of coaches did that because, again, also in today's world, any sport in life, I'm not getting, even though I'm getting paid, I'm not getting the minutes. I'm going to go someplace else. And Cam Carr got up and left. You have some injuries, and you have 9 or 10 guys. Well, 9 or 10 guys in the SECs, it's a long season. It's a beatdown. You really can't practice because you don't want guys to get hurt. So you're not getting any better during the season with practice. And people may think of that. How much do you really practice during the season? The good teams do. The teams, you don't. Rick Barnes' teams practice during the season. Kelvin Sampson, believe me, he practices during the season. The teams just roll the ball out and walk through plays and stuff like that. Those are the ones that, probably aren't in the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight every year. So if you got to have guys practice, because if you put guys like managers or when you used to have walk-ons out there, practice isn't as good.
Hey, Matt, these guys now have a full complement. Do you have any thoughts, Matt, from Maury? Any questions, comments, germane to the conversation as Tennessee adds Jalen Washington, who for some reason the latter part of the blog I started referring to him as Brown. I got my brain all twisted up, but that's not very hard for me to do, especially when I'm trying to work while I'm on vacation at the beach. Matt, from your perspective, anything else you want to add to the conversation here as Maury Hanks joins?
No, we've kind of covered it with Washington and how it's, you saw him up close, what he can do against this kind of competition, which I think is probably the issue with some of the other bigs that they already brought in. So it's a really, really good get for Tennessee. But the only thing, anything from Mario would be, I played golf the other day and my short game was awful. So if you have any tips on maybe some bump and runs and some chipping, I could really appreciate it because I struck it well, and I think I hit 9 greens, but only made 1 birdie.
Well, I can tell you, Tony, just pump the brakes. He asked me a question. There's a club out there called the Square Strike Chipper, and I'm a proud user of it. Andy North used to be the spokesman for it. And I wasn't even drunk one night watching infomercials. I ordered it. People make fun of it. Guess what? Whatever works for you. There's no pictures on the scorecard. So I've got that and a 65-degree wedge that is humbly known as the Alien around Knoxville. So I would get one of those. You don't stick it in the ground and you don't blade it.
How about that? How about Matt Diskin coming off the top rope with a foreign object asking a question about golf? And Matt's got the bug right now. How about you, Matt? Let's go.
Really need to have a Basilio golf tournament at some point for Machi or some other local charity.
No, we don't. No, Maury, is the Scraggler?
That would be, you know what? They have something like that. It's called the Special Olympics.
Hey, Maury, does the Scraggler, is that event still going?
Oh yeah, we do it. We do it usually the last Sunday of April every year. More T3 vodka and Fireball is consumed. I want to give a shout out to your great friend Mark Lester, and but yeah, it's at the Wee course. It's a lot of fun. So we maybe need to get Matt out there.
Yeah, Matt, you need to get out to the Scraggler.
Up there, there's no you tee shots and then you just putt, so your chipping wouldn't be affected.
That's in honor of a guy It's in honor of a guy who would eat off people's plates. They call him the Scraggler. Hey, Maury, on the way out, anything else you'd care to add? And shout out to Mark Lester and T3 Vodka for presenting Mo today. He's a presenting sponsor of Maury Hanks. Anything else for us, Maury?
Yeah, I just think, like I said, this is, and you've talked about it, but getting a guy, not only having him on your roster, but getting this late date is like Christmas come early. Again, I don't want people to think that he's going to be, a guy that I coached, Horace Grant, all SEC performer. But if he can do what he did last year at Vanderbilt, 9 points in 20 minutes, good rebounding, block shots. Tony, he doesn't make a lot of threes. He's only made 23 in his previous 4 years, but he does shoot close to 75% from the free throw line. So, you get fouled late in games. He's not going to be a distraction there. But I think it's a huge pickup for Coach Barnes and his staff any time of the year, but especially, August 1st.
Maury, you're the man. Much love to you, and good luck planning the Scraggler Open, and good luck on the links.
Thank you, Tony. Enjoy your time up there.
Thank you, brother. Yeah. Hey, Matt, I went last night up on the boardwalk. By the way, the world-famous Mummers are going to be here tonight. I'm going to grab my mandolin and try to march with them this evening and see if I can get kicked out. There's going to be a string band here. Matt, I've always had a dream of playing with the Mummers. So I'm just going to I'm going to grab my mandolin and jump in line with them. So, I lost my train of thought. Oh, last night they had a drone show up here on the boardwalk. Salute to America 250. Have you or Bry or any of the living listeners ever seen a drone show? It's like a new thing now. Have you guys ever seen a drone show where they had to have hundreds of drones up in the air last night, and it was completely next level. I mean, it was fireworks without the sound and the smoke. You ever been to a drone show, Matt?
The Las Vegas. What's the fun in that? I've not seen one live. No, I've seen some videos on it on social media, but no, I've never seen a drone show live, I don't think.
Yeah, it is absolutely phenomenal. Fantastic. Brian, have you ever seen a drone show? Have you ever seen something like that?
No, I have not.
I'm for it. Boys.
I didn't know there was a drone show.
Yeah, I'm for it. It was fantastic last night. So here we are, fired up, folks, prepared. Got a question for you, and I need audience participation. And look, phones haven't been ringing lately, but that's in everybody's world for what we're doing because we're close to the season now, and it is what it is. All right, so here we are. Byron says the following, Matt. He wants you to call him, our boy Byron, who's blogging on Thursdays, a.k.a. the Czar, Byron Williams. He would like to work with you, Matt. Are you for that or against it?
No, I'm for anything golf-related right now, absolutely. And anybody that's better than me that can help me is definitely welcome.
By the way, my buddy Darren, who knows the baseball scene back and forth, and I'm going to defer to him on this because there's a lot of moving parts these days, tells me that if Chapman were to sign a minor league deal, they're not under the auspices of major league rules. So if there's a major league lockout next year, the minor leagues are still going to play. I didn't know that. Did you guys know that? We're still going to have a minor league season next year, even if there's no major league ball.
I think one year there was a strike and the Smokies still played games.
There you go.
The minor leagues still played because they're not striking.
That'll be cool because
the Players Association. Yeah, I hadn't thought of it, but yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Thank you, D, for the and that's Derek Dooley noted. All right, on the other side, here's what we're going to do in honor of Rick Barnes moving and shaking, because really what Tennessee's trying to do in hoops is they're trying to win a national championship. I don't think, look, I don't think there's any doubt that that's what they're trying to do. If they were just trying to field a basketball team, they wouldn't have made this move. I wrote this in the blog. I'm not trying to be funny, okay? What they have at center right now dictated that they were going to be before this move. And why I was calling the guy Brown in my blog, and thank you for the people on Twitter that pointed that out, and a couple people texted me because my phone's published on my website. I really appreciate that. I want you to know that. Because we're a mom and pop operation. I mean, I'll set it up for you. I did the blog sitting with 12 family members last night in a beach house. They're watching the Sillies game, chit-chatting, etc. This is before we went out for the drone show. I'm talking to a guy, a friend of mine, and I got him on my, speaker. I don't want him to be heard. So I'm sitting there and I'm typing away and he's helping me out and blah, 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 blah. For some reason in my brain, and me and John Adams, we've talked about this on the air. John will be here Thursday for Basilio Show Festivus. Now, Matt, I know you don't want to be a part of that, but I'm going to give you a special dispensation to come in with your grievances against me and just rip away. Okay, Matt, I want this to be a really fun show two days from now.
All right, I'll have to really work on that because that's a hard switch to turn on there.
Pick one out, Matt. Pick one out. All right, so and here's the thing about this is what I was told before they get Washington. This team's going to score a lot of points. They're going to be really fun. They're going to have the lowest ceiling the lowest floor, rather. Nobody knows about a ceiling. You can't talk about a ceiling in these sports. The lowest floor that a Barnes team has had. Because when you run around and you can't defend down low, people are going to abuse you. Matt, are we pretty convinced this guy will do better than our last Vandy transfer from last year? Are we going to call the shot here that he'll be a better addition?
Yeah, he's a much better fit for what you do, what you use your bigs for.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say so. Yeah, he fit. I mean, Carey was just kind of an outlier piece and really a throwback player because he's basically a 6'8", inside post player.
Yep.
Who could be really physical and kind of bully teams, which you need, but it's hard to do that in today's era where bigs can space the floor and you have to guard out to the perimeter, which like Felix Hart-Parr was excellent at. And then obviously Washington's not going to be that, but if he can be some semblance of that, it's a much better fit for your team. And if like Maury talked about, it fills a huge need that you have, because I don't think the other bigs you brought in can necessarily, defend outside the paint either.
No, and that's right. Those guys are getting lost, and they're like, you know what? See, this is what I love about Barnes. I'm not walking into the season settling. That whole organization. We're going to, essentially, what happened is we're going to encourage this guy to go to court. Now, I didn't say they funded it. I haven't heard that. But we're going to encourage this guy to go to court with the knowledge that his team is filled up. As soon as he won the court case, the Tipton guy, who's pretty much on this like white on rice, links him to Tennessee. Now, as I wrote in the blog today, why do you think that is? And by the way, his name wasn't said with anybody else. I'm not saying this to go, hey, gotcha. We figured your game out. No. I'm saying this in appreciation. I'm saying this in appreciation for knowing that, hey, if we go into the season with our big man situation the way it is, we're going to run around, score a bunch of points. But when the time comes, when we play people that matter, we're going to get beat. They've addressed it. It's a big deal. It's and it's a sign that there's an urgency there. Listen, I believe when you're at an SEC school and you're coaching football or basketball and you're playing for keeps, you should wake up with that sense of urgency every day. I believe that. And I've got time for it. You're making that kind of money. You're in a spot like this. You are a caretaker of one of these programs. You're not going to be there for life. You're not going to be there for long. Barnes is what? Is this year 10 for him coming up, Bri, or year 11?
I think is it going to be year 12?
12, wow. That's a hell of a tenure. And he'll probably get 15 in, looking at him. We used to look at him and say, he's going to be done in a short amount of time. Nobody's saying that now. Now, obviously, every spring there's the chatter, but he's thriving and loving this era. And there's no reason his health holds up. There's no reason he can't do it 4 or 5 more years, maybe 8 or 9 more years. I mean, for all I know, he's a very clean living guy. He cut back on smoking. He cut back on drinking. That's the old Harold Melvin and the Blue Note song for Beano. But yeah, it's all systems go. So it leads to this. And all politics are local. It leads to this. And by the way, shout out to my friends at High Noon who provided the Vine today on the High Noon hotline where Maury Hanks appeared. Shout out to my friends there on your High Noon hotline because it's noon somewhere. It's about to be noon where we are. And you want to live like the sun's always out. And I'll tell you what, here on vacation, the High Noon has come in handy. It's been a beautiful thing. Maybe that's why Washington turned into Brown. Matt, when you write, do you ever do that? You either get something in your head or a mental block and you refer to somebody by a different name, or you use a term that you write a lot. Does that ever happen to you, Matt?
Yeah, it happens fairly often. Yeah.
It's weird how our brains work.
Yeah, you get ahead of yourself thought-wise and trying to put it to paper or I guess typing it. But yeah, it happens.
So, because you notice Matt's not goofing on me for it, because people that write a lot, like I'm hoping people are like, get your head out of your bleep. Why are you calling him that? And I'm like, well, obviously you've never written, because if you write, you understand that those things happen. I mean, and Laura, I was going to tell you this. So I write the blog, and then I'm laying next to her last night, and she's editing the blog, She's like, well, Tony, I didn't catch that because I was talking to her today. I'm like complaining, I'm like, hey, that's your fault. She said, whoa, cowboy. Matt, if you had to take a side, as I remind you that High Noon comes in 14 flavors, real vodka, real fruit juice, only 100 calories, no sugar added, gluten-free. What are you waiting for? Also, the iced tea, 6 refreshing flavors, including peach and lemon. There's a green tea and half. Also, High Noon tequila seltzer, 6 refreshing flavors, including the great blood orange. Matt, whose fault is it? My fault or her fault? That appeared if she's editing the thing.
It's your name on the show and website, so it's you, Tone.
Oh. So yeah, LSU John will be here on Thursday. I got to get a timeout. On the way to the timeout, here's a question for you. Or as they say here, for Yao. And the question for Yao is as follows. And Brian, you're going to lead off, followed by Matt. And I want to hear the callers. I want you to rank these in order. Rank these in order of probability. The goal at all these programs should be to win a national championship. Tennessee has a $250 million athletic budget that's growing every year. I don't know how we've gotten here. I don't know how we get out of here, but this is what it is. When you're spending $250 million, the goal should be in all these sports to win it all. Now, obviously, you're not going to win it all. And we have won how many national championships, guys, in, let's just go 30 years. How many national championships at our school in these sports? 2? Is that right? Or am I missing one?
One football, one baseball, and then if you want to count, are you counting lady ball basketball?
Oh, yeah, that's right. The Lady Vols won.
They've won like 6 in that span.
Yeah, in that span. So 8 national championships. So weird. With Kim Caldwell here.
She hadn't stepped down that far, though. They still count. They still happen.
Oh, no. What I'm saying, though, Bri, is they've de-emphasized women's basketball. I didn't do it. All right, here are your choices. Which program wins a natty first? And I want you and Matt and me and the callers to kick this around as a topic today. At some point I want to get into as well Tony Vitello, who made the biggest mistake ever going to that San Francisco mess. Let me tell you something. He took a Major League Baseball job, and he's coaching a Quad A baseball team. Matt, there's no way he would have taken that job if he knew this was going to happen. No way. Because he's not coaching a Major League Baseball team. Yes or no, Matt? That's not Major League Baseball, what he's doing.
Correct. That team's they're awful, and obviously got significantly worse with trading away some of their better players.
They traded, yeah. And if they could have traded their other 2 really good players, they would have traded them, but they couldn't find a taker.
Yeah, well, Devers' contract is just so absurd that nobody's going to take that on.
And Adamas, two absurd contracts, which is what you end up with in baseball.
His worst career year. Yeah.
Which Tennessee program? So now they have no bullpen, no pitching, no nothing, no runs, no hits, no errors, and none left. And they're
I don't think they ever had a bullpen this year.
85 is the year they lost 100 games. That's their worst year in their modern era. They will challenge for that this season. There's 50 games left. It's worth tracking. They're brutal. I'd say now a brutal baseball team full of Quad A players and 2 guys that are on bad deals with 0 pitching. 0 pitching. They had a fire sale, like an all-time fire sale yesterday. Anyway. Which Tennessee program wins a natty first? Here are your choices. We're going to put 5 on the board here, okay? I want you to rank these in order of they will win one before they win one, before they win one, before they win one, before they win one. Here are your choices. The aforementioned Queen Kim Caldwell and Tennessee basketball, a.k.a. Queen Kimmy, and the Lady Vols. Lady Vol softball, who are so close to drinking from that chalice. So close. UT baseball. I'm not telling you how to think, okay? When you have the kind of haul they had in the summer, they're going to be right in the middle of it next year. Right in the middle of it. Next season. Could happen next season. Oklahoma. Ole Miss, Mississippi Mistake, show you that anything is possible. You got the UT football, you got the Tennessee football, who are a ways away from that, I think. But then again, it might be next season. Could be 2027. Could hold the chalice at the end of the year. The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, Chico. You got more gold, Chico? And then 5, Ricky from Hickory, who is in straight. He speaks at a pompatus of love. Some call him the gangsta of love. And as I said yesterday, he going to coach a while because he ain't no joker. He ain't no smoker. And he ain't no midnight toker. He is all business. And he stands on it. So when we come back on the other side, I'm going to let Brian rank. I'm going to let Matt rank. We're going to go to the phones. You can see my rankings over at tclub.team today. As we continue with more, you tell me who ranked those teams in order of the next team to win a national championship on the campus. The last national championship we had was, what, a couple years ago with Tony Valls? That was your last national championship. So we continue on the other side. Whew. So next level. We continue with more right after this. Life never stops moving. The 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
The High Noon line of hard seltzers is always a winner and always next level. High Noon vodka seltzers come in 14 flavors with real vodka and real fruit juice. Only 100 calories with no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. Personally, I'm partial black cherry and pineapple. 14 flavors. That's as many bad takes as I've got in a week. In the mood for a kick? Try High Noon vodka iced tea in 6 refreshing flavors, including peach and lemon, green tea, and half and half. Feeling adventurous? Check out High Noon tequila seltzer in 6 refreshing flavors, including my favorite, Blood Orange. High Noon Real Vodka. Real fruit juice. Live like the sun is always out. Brought to you by High Noon Spirits Company. Must be 21 and over to enjoy responsibly.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires. Just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776. Or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Baseball fans, it's time to step up to the plate. Look your best. Get some new Tennessee gear from Alumni Hall. Alumni Hall has the best selection. Top brands for you to choose from this season. Look, it's nice and warm outside. So get into any of their 6 air-conditioned East Tennessee locations. Shop online, download the app, grab your Tennessee baseball jersey, your hat, your decal, maybe a t-shirt, and they have so much more. Earn $10 in rewards for every $150 you spend. Go Vols and shop Alumni Hall, your ultimate Tennessee shopping destination. Touch them all with Alumni Hall. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk, to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio Show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk, to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more? Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, but due to high demand, they're adding additional Rolls with a residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631. And ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring.
It's the hottest postgame show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
With Gary Sturm. He's with Mortgage Investors Group, making our community a better place every day. Gary, you've been at it 32 years, man.
Yes, Tony, I've been at Mortgage Investors Group for 32 years. We've known each other since, back in the 80s, right?
And we've gotten to know each other recently as our family has gotten involved with another mortgage. Through that whole process, you were a prince, just like Jeker. When he called you at 3 o'clock in the morning after a Tennessee loss, you've been giving your phone number out for a couple decades. And why is that, Gary?
This is the biggest financial decision you're ever going to make. You don't want to trust somebody online, some 800 number. You want to call somebody like myself that's going to give you my number, and you can call me anytime. I'm there to help you. I'm there to help you and your family, and I appreciate that. I appreciate your trust in me. You can call me anytime. You can be like Jeker and call me at 2 in the morning and complain about the balls just like he did. I'd rather you call me about a mortgage, but that's okay. If you want to cry about the balls, we can do that too. I'm a ball at heart. You know that. And if you want to come in and meet with me face to face, I'm here. If you want to do it online, I'm here. That's fine. If you're curious if you can qualify to buy a house, people know the housing market's tough. That's what I'm here for. There's no obligation. You can call me anytime. I get you pre-qualified. Or maybe you've got a mortgage and you're thinking about refinancing. Maybe you want to shorten the term. Maybe you want to go to a 15-year. Who knows? But again, that's what I'm here for. It's what I've been here for 32 years. My number is 865-660-2648. It's 865-660-2648.
Gary Sturm at Mortgage Investors Group, going to take great care of you.
Got a plumbing or HVAC problem at home? Whether it's an AC that won't cool, a furnace acting up, a clogged drain, or a water heater problem, Pipe Wrench Home Services is ready to help. Right now, get 15% off any HVAC or plumbing repair when you schedule service with Pipe Wrench Home Services. Our licensed technicians are equipped to diagnose the issue, explain your options, and get the repair done right the first time. Don't let a small problem turn into a major headache. That strange noise from your air conditioner, the water heater that's not keeping up, or the drain that keeps backing up won't fix itself. The longer you wait, the bigger the problem can become. At Pipe Wrench Home Services, we make repairs simple with friendly technicians and fast, reliable service that you can count on. We'll arrive ready to identify the problem and get your home back to normal as quickly as possible. Take advantage of 15% off any HVAC or plumbing repair and schedule your appointment today at pipewrench.com. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. Restrictions may apply. Eligible for repairs up to $5,000. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
TB back with you, 865-200-5402. I got caught napping there. Sorry about that. See, I'm on a break. I mean, I don't pretend to be something I'm not, or I don't know. But here we are. We're back with you. 865-200-5402. I was picking on my guitar. I mean, I'm sitting beside the beach here. You got to understand something here. All right, so here's where I'm at. I want to ask you today, the remaining time we have left, in honor of what Rick Barnes did, because what Rick Barnes did begs the question, and shout out to Ken Miller, who kind of text me this and says, hey, what's our next team to win a natty? Because this is the type of move you make when you're trying to win. And as I told you before, I got time for it. I love it. I want all these coaches to behave this way. Every moment you wake up, you're trying to win a nat. That's how Nick Saban was. And I got on him for it because I called it like world domination. It was totally annoying. But Matt, you wanted that to be your coach. Total world domination. Every minute, Saban was consumed with that. And I used to have a joke. I say on the air, which is a terrible thing to say, but I wish Saban's father would have said to him, son, I love you. You're good enough. And then we wouldn't have been put through that. I wanted to have like a seance with us, bring his dad back. That's a terrible thing to say. I meant it. Here's a guy that won a national championship, couldn't even smile. Huh? And that McAfee guy, he brought his smile back, but I digress. All right, Matt Dixon. So the conversation is here, and it's eliciting great conversation over on the Twitter. All right, so Boy Billy's going to join here momentarily. Rank these in terms of the ability to win a natty. The next team up, Matt, and then the next team after that, and then the next team after that, and then the next team after that. We're going to play with 5. We're going to give you the 5 count here, King Kong Bundy, who came from Atlantic City. Women's basketball, Lady Vol softball, UT baseball, our beloved football Vols who take the field here in about a month. Take the field later this week, but really take the field in about a month. And then the men's basketball team. Matt, where are you? Who's 1, who's 2, who's 3, who's 4, who's 5? Go for it.
Yeah, I've had a hard time with this since we talked about it in our pre-production meeting. I think, unfortunately, women's hoops is at the bottom at 5. And I think there's a little bit of a gap there. The other 4, I think you could realistically kind of put them in about any order you wanted. I think softball and men's basketball are the closest, but you have these longtime coaches who have never gotten over that hump. And I think the question is, can they do that? I think those 2 are the closest. I think baseball has the hardest postseason to win. And we had an incredible team that barely got through and did it with the generational coach. That's the hardest to win. Football is kind of the wild card, but you've got some potential with how your recruiting's lined up and with some guys you already have on campus. But I mean, women's hoops, I'd put 5, and the other 4. I mean, I guess I would probably, maybe softball, just because I think they're the closest to winning it, like what the program is right now, and then probably men's hoops, and then I guess football, then baseball. But those 4, I think you could put those in about any order, and you could, can justify it.
Brian Hartman, I think, Matt, that's a very interesting thing. And the thing about baseball too, Matt, is it's such a whimsical sport, right? It's a fickle, whimsical sport. And when you saw Oklahoma go, that Oklahoma team we saw at the end of the year, when you saw them go off and win last year, Matt, that was wild. Which tells you that Tennessee baseball next year could get up and win a national. Now, I'm not saying they're going to, but they could get up and go win a national championship next year. They're certainly got more material than Oklahoma.
Absolutely. And that's the thing I think that is the key here. We're ranking them which one, most likely. I do think even women's hoops you can put in this. All of them, if things break their way, have the potential to do that. And it's not like some crazy, just out of total left field scenario where it could happen. You at least can be there's a clear path to doing it with all these programs, which is a good thing.
Yep.
Okay.
Brian, what you got? Talk to me. Then we get Boy Billy in here.
The first 2 I have, I'm going to go most likely to least likely.
Okay.
The top is this is close. The first 2 is very close. I could put either one top, but I'm gonna vote for men's basketball because it looks like they are going to be cooking with grease this year.
Yep.
I'll go with softball as very close second. They made some coaching changes to try to get some more offense because that's where they've kind of struggled. Now, if they have a pitcher like Pickens coming back, I'd be more confident, but they've got to boost their offense. They had her last year. They just couldn't get the hit when they needed it. We saw what Texas did, so I'll say softball second. Third, I'll put baseball up there. And there's a little bit of a drop between 2 and 3. but not much. Then you've got football, who I don't rank that much far behind baseball.
I agree with that.
The fifth one is, and there's sort of a gap between 4 and 5, is women's basketball. They are bringing up the rear in mine.
Look, I wrote today that Kim Caldwell's type of coach you have when you're the AD and you're just wanting to field a basketball team, because that's not serious. They're not a contender for anything. So Brian and Matt that's an accurate ranking in my opinion. You might call in and tell me that you got the Lady Ball basketball top and they're going back to the top and they're going to catch fire with that style of play. And I say, hey, more power to you. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. One thing about me, I will always give you mine. James Daniel IV says something interesting, and then we'll get Boy Billy in here. I like my guy, James Daniel IV. He makes me think. He says the following. I think Shirts openly wanting Tennessee is why B-ball merits consideration for being higher. His feeling is you're not going to win a national championship in the next couple of years and something. Okay. That might be a reason to put, he says, I don't put Barnes as a part of the calculus because I don't think he has much time left, so I wouldn't include him in the calculus. Now, Brian jumped in there and said, hey, next year could be the year. Here's the thing about this. Barnes or Karen Weekly deserve to win one. Both of them. Now, just because you deserve to win one doesn't mean you necessarily do, but they do deserve to win one. I think anybody listening to my voice would say that. And sentimentally, if they get close enough, could they do it? I mean, it's a really interesting thing to think about and kind of grapple with. So that's where we are. So here we are. This is a great topic. Let's go to Boy Billy. And we'll get as many people in here. Hello and welcome in. You are on our Tuesday edition. Hi, welcome in. Boy William.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Boy William.
I turn on to you two. Shout out Bono, shout out Edge. And Tony, you out here looking like a white Morpheus from the Matrix.
Go! I do have my Steely Dan shirt on that a listener gave me. It has Fagan at the piano and Walter Becker with a bass guitar in his hand, and it's like a Peanuts motif. So I am rocking that. And I do have sunglasses on.
What kind of SPF you wearing out the beach?
Oh, I don't go out in the sun. I'm not a sun guy.
Ooh. All right. That's all I got. I'm out.
White Morpheus, huh? Oh, he's out. You like that, Matt? He didn't want to partake in the small guy tactics. He didn't want to partake in the small guy tactics. Here's what I'm not doing. I'm not fooling around with sports we don't watch. No offense to tennis. Hey, I'm for you, not against you, but we don't watch that. Track, for you, not against you. We don't watch that. Swimming, diving, that stuff. I'm for you. I love you, and I'm for you. And I love golf. I love you. I'm for you. We don't watch it. We don't talk about that stuff here. The 5 sports we know about, even soccer to some degree, we're not knowledgeable about the other teams. So I love Boy Billy. What a great call there. He just wanted to call in and rip me for my look today. What do you think of that, Matt? What do you think of him just calling to rip me?
I hope he calls back in on Thursday.
865-200-5402. Brian, are you telling me with this great topic we have no other calls? Is that what you're telling me, Brian? All right, let's do this. Let's get another timeout, and then I want some calls. Because this is a great topic. 5 teams, put them on the board. You get the women's basketball team. You got the softball team. You got that men's basketball team that just added and feels more serious now. Because I'm going to tell you something. A couple of their big people weren't playable. And that's why they did this. It's like, look. And the shirts guy that James Daniels talking about is this guy who coached at Lincoln Memorial. His family loves East Tennessee. He's turned some great jobs down. He's waiting on the Tennessee job. That's the truth. Now, does that mean he won't take the Michigan job between now and then? I don't know. But he hasn't. He hasn't. I mean, who knows what tomorrow brings? In a world, two hearts collide. All I know is the way I feel, and it's real. You know what I mean? So we need some phone calls. Otherwise, I'm going to be talking to myself with a great topic, and you're going to piss me off. Get as many people in as humanly possible in the next hour. As we continue, we're live with you, breaking it down scientifically, celebrating another great day, on our way to another great college football season. As we continue with more right after this.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Tona B, inviting you to experience the Collins Insurance difference. And what's that? How about multiple top carriers that you can trust? Like Erie, they underwrite our entire Rainier studio and everything around it. Travelers, Hartford, Hanover, Progressive. We do what's right because we care. In today's technology-driven world, maintaining the human touch, Bruce Springsteen, is one of our main focuses. We deliver the best customer service humanly possible. We give you someone that you can actually call or sit in front of. Imagine that. No call centers here. Experience the Collins Insurance difference. Check them out at collinsinsuranceTN.com, and they're Mrs. B approved. Collins Insurance. TB with a few serious questions. You feeling tired, foggy, you gaining weight, or you just don't feel like yourself anymore? Hormone therapy is finally becoming mainstream, but it's truly something my man, Dr. Tom Rogers, has been doing for over 20 years. Dr. Rogers at Performance Medicine wants you to feel your best, and he treats both males and females. So, guys, we can do this as a family. At Performance Medicine, hormone therapy is personalized to you. If you're dealing with hot flashes or mood swings or low energy, decreased libido, fatigue, muscle loss, stubborn weight gain, it might be time to find out what your body really needs. No shame in this game. You can do something about all the above. Performance Medicine offers customized hormone treatment plans based on comprehensive lab testing with options like pellets, creams, patches, oral medications, and injections. The goal is simple. Help you feel like yourself again. Next level. Make your life better. Take it to the higher plane. Visit performancemedicine.net. Schedule your consultation today. You'll feel your best with Performance Medicine.
Big news, Basilio family. Get ready because the 2026 Knoxville real estate market is officially shifting into high gear. All signs are pointing toward a record-breaking year, and the energy across East Tennessee is absolutely electric right now. Whether you've been dreaming of finding that next home, looking to capitalize on your current equity, or ready to dive into the investment world, the timing has never been better. Having a game plan is the key to winning in this fast-paced market, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Basilio here with the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, I can hear it in the background, brother. It's World Cup season, and you guys are in the middle of it. Talk to me.
We are excited. Our U9 through U12 trials just kicked off today for our locations in Knoxville and in Johnson City. So we're ready to offer any player top-level competition, top-level training anywhere they want to be in Northeast Tennessee. In our programs, we offer competitive play for anywhere from 9-year-olds to 19-year-olds. We've got two locations. Our location in Knoxville is kind of our home base, and our location up in Johnson City in the Tri-Cities area is our FC Alliance North. Both locations are growing tremendously, and we're excited about what the future holds here at both locations.
Growing the beautiful game in the season of the World Cup. Chad Stockton, how can folks get more information?
Go to our website, FC Alliance or FCAllianceNorth.org, and both locations we're happy to serve the beginning player or the more experienced player, because what we will promise is the top-level training and top-level leagues that we can play in for all of our players.
Growing the beautiful game in Knoxville and now also in the Tri-Cities FC Alliance. Thank you, Chad Stockton.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm going to hop online and I'm going to get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
The High Noon line of hard seltzers is always a winner and always next level. High Noon vodka seltzers come in 14 flavors with real vodka and real fruit juice. Only 100 calories with no sugar added, and it's gluten-free.
Personally, I'm partial black cherry and pineapple.
14 flavors.
That's as many bad takes as I've got in a week.
In the mood for a kick? Try High Noon vodka iced tea in 6 refreshing flavors,
including peach and lemon, green tea, and half and half.
Feeling adventurous? Check out High Noon tequila seltzer in 6 refreshing flavors, including my favorite, blood orange. High Noon real vodka, real fruit juice. Live like the sun is always out.
Brought to you by High Noon Spirits Company. Must be 21 and over to enjoy responsibly.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
Nothing makes you realize how much you rely on your air conditioner like a scorching hot day in East Tennessee. You want more than a technician. You want someone you can trust. Schedule Pipe Wrench's $79 AC tune-up now because the heat is here. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune your HVAC system to help it run efficiently and reliably while reducing the risk of breakdowns when you need it most. And while we're there, we can also recommend ways to improve your indoor air quality for cleaner, healthier air throughout your home. For more than 20 years, homeowners across Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and surrounding communities have trusted Pipe Wrench Home Services for dependable comfort. And with our same-day service guarantee, you won't be left waiting when comfort matters most. Schedule your $79 AC tune-up today at PipeWrench.com. Same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free. Offer valid on standard systems only. Visit PipeWrench.com for details.
Basilio here with my buddy, Connexial Kristen.
Hey, Tony. Good to see ya. Connexial builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the .1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Connexial.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Connexial, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Only 2 homestands remaining for your Knoxville Smokies, and next week is a huge week. Free hot dog night on Tuesday. Yep, all you can eat hot dogs all night long. Then Wednesday is all you can eat for less than $20, and that includes game ticket. Knox Vegas Thirsty Thursday with half off draft beers, and the weekend. Make sure to grab your UT gear and head to the ballpark on Saturday for Tennessee night. First 1,000 fans receive a Deshaun Bishop bobblehead. Get your tickets now at SmokiesBaseball.com.
You know, that's cool that Deshaun Bishop, a Knoxville kid, is getting his night with the Smokies. I for one, celebrate that. I think that's great. As I welcome you back. 865-200-5402. If you'd have told that kid when he came from Carnes, hey, man, you're gonna go from the ranks of a walk-on to having your own bobblehead night at Smokies, you'd have been like, huh? Sure I am. The belief here is that Tennessee with this move, and then we'll go back to the phones. Jack Veltri, by the way, later on in the hour, we're going to get him on the High Noon hotline talking about South Carolina, a future opponent. Matt, are you concerned about the South Carolina game? It's a funky place to play, and we've always played weird games with them. Are you concerned about it, Matt, or not really?
I mean, yeah, it'll be concerning at the time if I'm not looking at the schedule. I think Tennessee's it's like the week before Tennessee's bye. South Carolina's coming off a bye. It's a road game where, like you said, you get weird results. So I mean, yeah, there's some concern there, but it's not at the top of my priority list, right? Especially since it's kind of a mid-season game. A lot's got to play out before then.
Such a weird deal. Internally, the thought on Washington is he's not going to be like a tremendous difference maker for him in terms of playing time. They think Brown's their best big man, okay? But they had to have this guy. And the reason they had to have this guy is that they kind of whiffed Ruben and Fermin right now, just haven't been able to play. I'm not trying to be funny, glib. I'm just kind of telling you what I'm hearing internally, and that's the truth. Those two guys have not been able to move the bar. So they had a huge hole. And Washington is a guy, like Maury said, he's not going to be like an all-league player, but he's substantial, and he's legitimate, and he can play at this level, and he's a fifth-year player, and he was available. They had two choices. There's a guy in Europe that they were kicking the tires on as well, who was going to be more expensive, and they decided to go this route. That's the inside scoop here. The problem with Euro players is, and we've kind of talked about this on here, and then we'll go to the phones. So let me ask you who, because this really sets the basketball team, I think, went from like a 4 or 5 seed type team they had to a 2 seed type team. That's their belief. Now we'll see how it plays out. Long season ahead, going to be a lot of fun. We'll be on with you, Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime, as soon as it gets cranked up. These wonderful reports that we have over at tclub.team, like today's, where we sort of unpack what he means, and we'll go a little further into that. But they had a Euro who possibly could be an NBA player down the line. This guy's not an NBA player. But the problem is you got to have a known. You cannot be in the spec market right now. So they had to have a known. And this guy's a known. Bird in the hand, two in the bush, whatever the saying is. So the question now is, you look at the 5 programs that kind of we look at, all right? And I'm throwing softball in there because they get really great ratings when the time comes. Lady Vol softball, the basketball team, Lady Vol basketball, men's basketball, baseball, and our football Vols. I want you to rank them 1 through 5 in terms of potential national champions, or, if you will, the next to win a national title. Let's start things off in this set of 3 love songs in a row with Richard in Murfreesboro. Richard, welcome in.
Well, hello, Tony B.
Hey, Richard, welcome in.
All right. Wonderful conversation piece there, Tony. Very, very interesting. Sit there and take these 5 programs that move the needle the most at the University of Tennessee. They draw the most eyeballs when it comes to TV ratings and fan participation up in Knoxville for home games. So, great. So I'm going to have some similar, but I'm probably going to have a little different take than the panel here so far. So I'm going to kind of look at it as who I think is ready to win a national championship now. As
that's the topic.
2, and that is men's basketball and the men's baseball team. I think both of them in 2027 have a chance to hoist trophies next year. And so to me, they're at the top of my list because I think they're both have rosters ready to do it now. And that's kind of the conversation is who's going to win the next national championship, who has the potential. And I think both of them do. I was looking, Tony, at the roster of the baseball team and just what all they're doing in the summer and in the kid. Man, we have the roster Tennessee has on the baseball team next year is a better roster than they just won the national championship in Oklahoma this year. Agree or disagree?
Oh, it's a lot better. No question.
Yeah. Now, like Matt said, it's hard to win baseball. Everything has to go right, but it's hard to win all of them. I mean, in these men's sports, winning a national championship is difficult, and unless you just got the super team that does it. Baseball can have the super team and still not win it because baseball is a funny sport compared to football and basketball, we know. But again, those 2 sports have the rosters. I believe both of them have the coaching. I think they have everything in place. The money's there, of course, we know, to continue this ride. Both Rick Barnes is not retiring. Rick Barnes loves it. He is going for it. He knows he's in limited time, of course, and he's got the money behind him to keep pushing this envelope. And so I'm excited to see these 2 rosters and what they do in 2027. Because I think, again, both of them have the talent and the ability to hoist the trophy. We'll see what happens. So now, third, this is where we're going to be a little different. So my third is Tennessee football. I think Tennessee football is ahead of both of the women's sports. I think that Faison Brandon is the best young quarterback we've had since Peyton Manning on the roster. The kid's super talented. The kid is super committed. He's all football. He's a football junkie. He has the great family around him. Everything is pointing to him to be an outstanding quarterback in the near future, and what he's going to be able to do over the next 3 years to continue to elevate Tennessee as he continues to get experience. We have the money. We have a lot of other players around him. We're still looking at trying to add. We know what we're going to do to finish the team. So I think Tennessee football is ahead of the women's sports. Now, saying that, I hear what y'all saying on the lady softball team. Karen Weekly is there year in and year out, and I don't disagree that she's not going to be back in the World Series for the women. She is going to get her roster back there, just like 3 or 4 other teams that get there consistently, like a Florida, an Alabama, or a Florida State. But here's the problem she's running into. One, she has some money, but she don't have nowhere near the money to compete with Texas, Oklahoma, and Texas Tech. Those three programs are funding their women's softball team head and shoulders above every other women's program, period. And with Texas winning it the last 2 years, Tony, who is the premier women's softball team before that? Oklahoma. They're throwing lots of money at their roster.
Yep.
They're pissed, and they're not going to let Texas win it. I mean, so the money going with those three teams is just crazy money, head and shoulders above every other women's softball program.
Hey, Richard, to your point, the Lady Vols had their third baseman bought off the roster for $1 million. Now, it didn't work out for the club that made the purchase, but still, the point is, you got Texas Tech in there as a huge spender. The Mahomes and his wife, they're annoying AF. I agree with Brian Hartman, who said this yesterday. Texas Tech can fail in every sport, and I think we'd all be the better for it because they're really annoying. They're really annoying.
They are, and like I said, they got some boosters that have a lot of money and just want to just continue to throw. And I mean, like I said, don't get me wrong, Tennessee has a lot of money. There's money behind a lot of our programs, but you also have to prioritize. We don't have the silly money that some of these other programs have. Like I said, the oil schools, Tony, there's certain schools that just have that the money they're making right now with the price of oil and gas and everything over the last, it's crazy the amount of money these programs have to just throw at sports. I mean, if these Texas schools and stuff wanted to have these 5 sports we're talking about, if they wanted to have $100 million rosters on all of them, they could do it. That's the kind of money some of those programs have if they want to throw it out there. And nothing nobody else can do about it. It's just it's those schools have that kind of money, and when you've got it, you got it. And some schools are willing to flaunt it. So again, to me, it's a priority thing, and women's softball is not going to get the financial edge over the 3 men's sports when it comes to financial NIL, man. We just don't have. We've got it, but we don't have it in spades like that just to be stupid with it. So that's
Brian,
why I have them forced in
Brian,
basketball.
yeah, because people thought you were disrespecting her. Brian, do you agree with Richard and what he's saying there? Do you think he's making a really good point about that whole deal? That the finances of softball dictate that that they're just not going to be there.
Yeah, and they also lost a player off this year's team that was supposed to be the leading, was supposed to be like one of the best hitters on the squad. That she's left and went in the transfer portal. Now I don't know if she's found a taker, but the money part of it I didn't really consider. But yeah, it's they are going to break ground on a new I think it's a new practice facility or something.
Oh wow,
yeah, they're doing something over there, so they're spending. They've got money. They've got a certain amount of money that I'm not sure, as Richard said, they have the stupid type of money that they're going to throw at softball.
I was not aware of that, man. I was not aware.
Yeah,
of
they're going to break ground on something that they're going to have like all these film rooms and just different like a new club lounge, and they're going to really it's going to be really nice.
You know what those kids care about? The money you're putting in their pockets.
Yeah, that's all they care about, Tony.
They don't care about facilities.
Tiny toys.
No.
But schools still have to spend that kind of money as well. And I hope I'm wrong. I would love nothing more to see Karen Weekly win a national title and hold that trophy up, man. She's worked hard at that trade. She's tried to do it the best way and the right way. And we'll see. And then, like I said, of course, the last program, women's basketball still has one thing going when it comes to the elite of the elite basketball players that you got to have to win natties. You don't win national titles in women's basketball unless you get a hold of 20 or these 25 type players that are just elite and better than anybody else. And so there's only so few of those players to go around. And the problem is you've got 4 or 5 coaches that are eating those players up because they have the cachet, they have the name, they have the titles, they have everything. And Tennessee women's basketball is not going to jump ahead of any of those programs anytime in the near future, unless they go find that next coach that has that cachet that they can go spend money and bring a coach in here or there, because that's just the bottom line of women's basketball, man. we'll be in the tournament. We'll compete. We'll play hard. But getting up there with South Carolina, UConn, Texas, and UCLA, and now USC women's team's probably going to host the trophy this year. So there's programs ahead of ours, and those coaches are dynamite on the recruiting trail. They're eating up the best players. And that's just facts, man. I bring facts. Like you said, you got to bring facts to this.
Got to bring
It can't
facts.
be about feelings.
Richard, I appreciate you. Thank you, my brother. Richard spitting facts on your High Noon phone line. Just go back to the phones and get our next call in. And he's in Chattanooga. Blake, hello, welcome in. You're on the air.
How you doing, Tony?
Good, brother. How you doing?
Pretty good. Hope you're enjoying your beach trip. So I got my list. I think everybody's got the women's basketball team at 5. They're just so far from what they used to be. They've got a ways to go and a pretty big mountain to climb to get back to what they once were. And then at the 4 spot, I hope I'm wrong, but at the 4 spot right now, I have football. Just because I do think Faison is going to be a good quarterback for us. I think he's going to work out and play some good ball for us. But we have question marks that what are we going to do next year at the line and everything. And are we going to keep everybody? I don't think we're going to be in the conversation to win one this year. I hope we have a good year, but we're not quite there yet for me. And there's just too many good teams. In football, it's hard to win a national championship if you haven't been right there on the cusp of one for a little while. Indiana's the outlier. That was insane. But not a lot of teams can just walk in and do that. And I don't expect many to just walk in and be there like Indiana's been. And then at the 3 spot, I'm going to put the baseball team. And I think you could put baseball and softball 2 and 3, whichever order you wanted to. But I'm going to put baseball at 3 just because I want to see how this team we have coming in meshes. If they mesh well, they could very well be in position to make a run for it. And then softball will be at number 2 because I think they are always going to be in the conversation. And if you're always in the conversation, if you always have a seat at the table, anything can happen. And I do think they're going to continue to have a seat at that table. And then 1 for me right now is basketball, just because the way they moved into the transfer portal, they completely switched up their game. They went and got bucket getters. That's what offense has been winning games for people. The Michigan offense went in there and tore people up. They won a national championship. But they did also have a 7-footer, which we don't have, but I think we do have guys that we can rotate around, and if we get one that happens to stand out and play a little bit bigger than he is, I think that can help us. And we're going to get buckets this year. We're going to have guys that are putting up points. And I really do think this could be a Final Four run for Rick Barnes if everything plays out the way we need it to be, as long as guys are healthy, as long as no one's getting in trouble, which Rick Barnes guys tend to not get in too much trouble, so I'm not really worried about that. I do think he can make a run.
Matt Deskin, your thoughts on this gentleman's and the last 2 gentlemen's thoughts?
No, I agree with all their takes. Like I said, I think those top 4 you can put in just about any order and be able to justify it. So yeah, we've had some good thoughts so far from all of our callers. So yeah, I agree with everything both this caller and Richard said. So, again, the key is, and especially with the top 4, there's a clear path to winning a national title and getting close. And that's the biggest key that I think we have to take away from this is it's very possible with all 4 of them.
Yeah, because I think you're closer than you think. Sometimes you're further away than you think. And sometimes you're closer than you think. I think these teams are closer than we think they are. And I think Oklahoma proved that last year in baseball. All you get to do is get hot. It's pretty much that simple. Basketball, you got to be playing your best ball at the end of the year. Especially when you have the material. The basketball team now, with that addition yesterday, now has the material to do it because a couple of those guys just weren't good signings. They just weren't. So it's interesting. Pretty interesting stuff. Anything else for us in beautiful Chattanooga?
That about does it for me. I'm excited to see what football season brings because
Yes, sir.
if Faison shows that he can play, 2027 is going to be really exciting with what we have coming in. And I'm very excited for basketball this year.
Great talking to you. Thank you, my friend. Let's get our next call in. 865-200-5402. Hoosier Vol. Ryan, welcome in, Hoosier Vol. Ryan, how you doing?
Good. What's going on, Tone? Enjoying your vacation?
I'm doing great, man. Hey, Hoosier Vol, Ryan, if you were asking that question on the Hoosiers campus, right, would they say the next national championship comes in football? Or would they say it comes in basketball, the next natty?
Is that a serious question?
Well, I mean it's going to be a while.
The answer would be football, a chasm, and everything else up in Bloomington. But
so their basketball team in that world's not even on the radar, huh?
Well, they're horrible. I mean, I'm sorry. I think they hired another bum of a coach, but let's not sully IU with this. That's the nice thing about Tennessee is there's a lot of things to talk about. In Indiana, out of nowhere, there's one thing to talk about. But what are you going to do?
From a Tennessee perspective, and as being a sports fan, it's got to really Vol fans should really kind of appreciate where they are. You know, I don't know if they realize that. I don't know if we realize that, but to have this well-rounded of an experience as an athletic department and as fans is pretty cool, really.
Well, it's what makes us. I mean, how many other programs could even do this topic and have anyone seriously think about it? Tennessee, Texas, LSU. Could any northern school? Because the dirty little secret about Big Ten country is they don't care about 5 sports. I don't even know if that's a secret. Everyone knows that, except like wrestling and volleyball for Nebraska and Penn State. That they don't care about these 5 sports. So, Tennessee is very unique in that instance. But, go ahead.
No, it's an interesting thing you bring up. I mean, Matt, how many athletic departments do you think in those 5 sports are as deep as we are?
I'd at the most 10 to 12.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're definitely probably less than 15.
Look, I'm not knocking those all sports trophies, but those all sports trophies are compiled by having a good water polo program. They really are.
Gaming the system.
Sure.
To the topic at hand, Tone. I'm going football 1, basketball 2, lady softball 3, baseball 4, and lady vol hoops is the obvious chasm in 5. They're really rough. They're the only one not even on the radar. But here's my pitch on football.
Hit it.
You know, if Faison's a hit and either Keys or Radarius Jackson can be one as a hit, wide out one, how many teams could Staley start at as a slot wide receiver in America today? I would venture that 95% of them.
Mm-hmm.
How many could David Sanders start at? Yeah, I'm saying today, let alone another year or two in the strength program and getting better. And then you got to throw, we already know our running back could start at all of them. And you say that's a crazy thing to say. If Ohio State wants him that bad, I'll just take that future. And then Deshaun Brame, you throw him in there. I think we're a wideout and a quarterback away from being a lot closer than people think. And then you just retain that offense and spin like mad in the portal and get the elite pass rushers. And if we finally get a coach that can coach some dadgum secondary and they're not terrible, wouldn't that change your opinion a bit?
Matt Diskin, do you share this gentleman's optimism, or are you a see it, believe it when you see it guy?
No, that would be my line of thinking too. That's the path for football. Absolutely. I mean, you've got some of the players that you need at the key positions, and you've upgraded your coaching staff in some areas where you were lacking. So yeah, I think if all those things pan out and click, and then you get a couple of breaks in season, that's easily the path for football. And that's, is it likely? I mean, none of these are you're not likely to win a national title in any of them, but it's certainly possible.
Well, and it's already been spoken on why I have the Diamond Sports lower. Texas and Oklahoma aren't going anywhere for the Lady Vol softball, and baseball's just too darn hard to win one statistically. Too many opportunities to have something go awry. Basketball, hey, I could see basketball 1 and football 2, but I wouldn't give up on football. Now, you have to do the meat and potatoes good, and Tennessee got that strength coach from Indiana, and we got to start tightening up and hitting.
Well, let's not forget about the eating coach. The eating coach is a key. Eating is fundamental. Reading is fundamental. And the eating coach is a very important piece of this.
Well, speaking of which, I believe I'll have my lunch now. So we'll see, bud.
You're my man. Love you. 865-200-5402. I've got my little cooler. Beachside. It has gotten warm and muggy out here. I got one of those little, Matt, when you go to the beach and you sit out here long enough and you get kind of a beach headache, even when you're in the shade. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know why that is, but it's hard to stay and feel hydrated when you're at a beach. You get that little kind of dull headache thing. You know what I'm talking about, Matt, or am I alone in this?
Yes. Yeah, you get dehydrated at the beach. I don't know if it's the combination of the waves, the wind, sand, the sun, just kind of all of it. Yeah.
I'm pounding the fluids right now. Pounding the fluids, but to no avail. So we've had an interesting conversation. What we've been asking is, in light of Rick Barnes flexing on his sport. My belief is Tennessee encouraged him to go to court. I don't know if they paid for it or not. I'm not going to accuse anybody of that. But I think they were encouraging it with the idea, you get eligible, we'll take you. You want to play another year of college hoops? You're not a pro player. I mean, I guess you could go over to Europe and play. But the way we look at it, you have a need, we have a need. You have a need, you want to make some money? And we have a need. Because we've looked at what we added in the portal, and it's not sufficient for our goal. Our goal is cutting nets down. Not field a really good basketball team that wins 20-some-odd games and tops out in the Sweet 16. Our goal is to, how shall we say, let's call it win it all. Win it all. 865-200-5402 is our number. Some great calls in that set of 3 love songs in a row. Jack Veltry's going to join us. I want to talk some South Carolina with him. And then we'll take you up till, hour 2. No high noon overtime today. Brian's got to be somewhere. And, I'm on vacation. Taylor tomorrow has a new twib for us this week in Tennessee baseball. Looking forward to that over at tclub.team. Today we unpack, and we even for later editions got Washington's name right. I mean, that was mighty nice of me. But, yeah, Tennessee's in this thing to win a natty this year. Look, you're in it to win a natty every year. But they're really, like, the sense of urgency around what they're trying to do is palpable. It's palpable. And it's worth pointing out. It's laudable. I'd like to see all our coaches comport themselves in that way every day when you get up. Now, do they? I don't know. But I'd like to see it. And when we do see it, we call it out. As we continue with more on the other side, Matt Dixon, Brian Hartman, Tony Basilio with you on a Tuesday. John Adams will be here presented by Jennifer Morris, NextMoveSmokyMountains.com on Thursday for our annual Festivus show where I become the butt of the jokes and just get ripped immaculate. So get your calls ready, get your comments ready, and get ready to rip me for 2 solid hours. I generally am sitting on the beach at that point, getting texts from friends going, do you know what they just said about you? And I say no. And then people ask me, do you go back and listen to the show? Matt, you know me. You think I go back and listen to the show when I'm getting blasted?
Probably not. But
No,
I'm sure Laura does.
I just take it like a man. Oh, Laura does, yeah, for sure. It's probably a great late night entertainment for her. As we come back on the other side, so we have 67 likes on YouTube. Can we do a little better? We're right at 200 viewers. I think we can. Please hit that like button. It helps us grow over there on that forum. We're really growing like a weed, and it's been a great thing. It's been a lot of fun. We're going to have a great, great, great football season into basketball, into baseball. This sets up to be a really wonderful year. Let's win a couple national championships this year. How much fun would that be? We continue with more on it. It could happen.
Dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting. He doesn't always drink beer, but when he does, he definitely prefers Dos Equis. That's right. The most interesting man in the world has returned, and he's more interesting than ever before. His phone is addicted to him. All of his teeth, all are wisdom teeth. So raise a Dos Equis to the man, the myth, the legend. And remember, stay thirsty, my friends. Dos Equis, enjoy responsibly. 2026 Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Chilio here, and you know my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles, between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
Like our 2026 football Vol, score a T3 TD every time with T3 Vodka, Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. Right here, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Quality around here isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. And T3's filtered 10 times. 80 proof of vodka delivering a smoothness unmatched. This dedication to excellence has earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades, like a 5-time gold medal award-winning vodka and your SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner as well. Whether you're sipping it neat, on the rocks, mixing your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka, your choice for a premium award-winning experience. Be like Maury Hanks. Score a T3 TD. Ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, and score a T3 TD all 2026 long. Tennessee's premium vodka, T3, Tennessee's premium vodka, distributed by Empire Distributors of Tennessee.
Big news, Basilio family. Get ready because the 2026 Knoxville real estate market is officially shifting into high gear. All signs are pointing toward a record-breaking year, and the energy across East Tennessee is absolutely electric right now. Whether you've been dreaming of finding that next home, looking to capitalize on your current equity, or ready to dive into the investment world, the timing has never been better. Having a game plan is the key to winning in this fast-paced market, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Basilio here with the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, I can hear it in the background, brother. It's World Cup season, and you guys are in the middle of it. Talk to me.
We are excited. Our U9 through U12 trials just kicked off today for our locations in Knoxville and in Johnson City. So we're ready to offer any player top-level competition, top-level training anywhere they want to be in Northeast Tennessee. In our programs, we offer competitive play for anywhere from 9-year-olds to 19-year-olds. We've got 2 locations. Our location in Knoxville is kind of our home base, and our location up in Johnson City in the Tri-Cities area is our FC Alliance North. Both locations are growing tremendously, and we're excited about what the future holds here at both locations.
Growing the beautiful game in the season of the World Cup. Chad Stockton, how can folks get more information?
Go to our website, FC Alliance or FCAllianceNorth.org, and both locations we're happy to serve the beginning player or the more experienced player, because what we will promise is the top-level training and top-level leagues that we can play in for all of our players.
Growing the beautiful game in Knoxville and now also in the Tri-Cities. FC Alliance. Thank you, Chad Stockton.
Thanks, buddy.
TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting, because every customer counts, and I mean no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you, not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
You bow thy head when you say thy name, appearing on your high noon hotline. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Veltri now joins. I love this guy. So next level. Talking Carolina with the great Jack Veltri. Hey, Jack, que pasa, amigo? Hope summer's treating you well.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on. Always appreciate when I get a chance to be on your show, man. It's good being here.
Well, you're breaking it down scientifically. I love the gnat sound. What's going on in the background where you are? It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, I am. I had an inauspicious date with my fiance for lunch, so it kind of came up at the last second. But we're finishing up at lunch, and yeah, and then we're heading off with our day. She's a teacher. Yeah.
Listen, man, if you don't want to, if you want to do this another day, we can do that if we're in the middle of a lunchtime with you.
No, man, no. We're just finishing up. So, but it's good to be on here with
All
you
right.
guys.
What'd you have for lunch, Jack?
This place called Zesto's. It's a popular spot here in Columbia, and I've never been here before. So it's pretty good though. It's a chicken joint, so not too bad.
Was Zesto's all it was cracked up to be?
You know, and again, I need to try like I just had chicken tenders, like a basic meal. I need to really try like their fried chicken.
Yep.
The ice cream seems to be pretty good here, but next time I come on here with you, I will definitely have a better review for you when I get a whole look at the menu.
Give me a full report, and the next time the Gamecocks are in town, you got to come join us down at Calhoun's. When we're down there on Friday during the football season. Calhoun's on the river. We'll be back with them. So they got the Zesto and then some. So Carolina coming off a year where they were 4-8, 1-7 in the league, had that really weird game with A&M at the end of the year where Frank Beamer was celebrating at halftime. One of the strangest, oddest scenes we've seen. Jack Veltri, new offensive coordinator, Kendall Briles. Great starting quarterback back. Does it help them? Do they make a ripple this year on offense?
I think so. I think there were enough changes on offense to where it'd be harder to do much worse than how last year went, right? You were one of the worst offenses in the country last year. Didn't have a good offensive line. You gave up more sacks than any team in the SEC. I mean, there were just a lot of things that went wrong. And to Shane Beamer's credit, he corrected it as much as he could on paper, right? New offensive coordinator, new offensive line coach, new running back coach. All things that were big problems for South Carolina last year were corrected. Now it's just about, making sure that this team can go out here and actually execute this season. And I think they will. I think they'll be a bit better than last year. I don't know if it's going to be best in the country better, but I think we could see this offense maybe put up 30 points a game. And that, I think, would be a huge difference for this team.
Well, it's very, 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 very a great thing. And, you know, I look at Kendall Briles. I like him. He's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine, even though he's kind of annoying for some reason. Have you been around Kendall at all since he's been appointed?
Yeah, he got hired back in December.
Okay.
And then we've probably spoken to him in media availability, I would say a couple times, maybe 4 or 5 times, because he had his intro press conference, maybe once or twice during the spring. And then we actually got to catch up with him the other day at Shane's golf tournament here in Columbia. So, and we'll hear from him tomorrow, or I'm sorry, on Thursday at Team Media Day for South Carolina. So, yeah, but he seems like a nice guy, and I think, honestly, he's going to bring a different flavor to this offense, because what we saw last year was the pro-style offense. And honestly, you go back to Dow Loggins, it was very pro-style offense as well. And this seems to be like it's going to be more like a college system. And I think it's going to be different. I think the way the guys have described it has been, it's a fun offense. And I think it's going to lead to, it's going to be different looking for sure. But I think it's also at the same time going to lead to different and potentially better results.
Hey, Matt, you're kind of a fan of Bryles. Share with Jack what they're in for at South Carolina, and particularly with that quarterback and how they'll use him. Matt, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I'm curious how they use him too, because Lenore Sellers is a really talented, can run the ball, and really big, and obviously still developing as a passer. So I'm kind of curious how he works in there too. But what all does he have to work with? I guess you have Nick Harbor, who is kind of more of a talent than kind of receiver at this point. How much has he developed? And I thought South Carolina's offensive line was one of the worst in the league last year. How improved is that going to be? Because if that doesn't get better, it really doesn't matter what offense Lenore Sellers is running.
No, great point there. I've been harping on this all off season, man. If they don't have a good offensive line, they're not going to be able to make it. I mean, like everything with the offense literally comes down to whether or not this offensive line is going to be good or not, right? Because you could call all the plays you want, and look, there's a lot of problems with play calling last year, but let's call it for what it is. If you can't block, you're not going to be able to run the football. You're not giving Lenore enough time in the pocket to throw the ball. There are so many things that literally, how do I put it? It revolves, everything kind of comes down to whether or not the O-line is going to be good. So I think they're going to be better. I expect them to, I don't think it's going to be 40-plus sacks again. Could you get it into like the 20s maybe? I don't know. That might be reaching. You kind of hope it's like you cut it down by a little bit. And I think they will. You got Randy Clements as the new O-line coach. You have like double-digit new players coming in. I think with the starting offensive line, you may just have one returning guy, and the rest are going to be incoming transfers and whatnot. So it's going to be a different-looking group. When you look at the offense in general, it'll be Sellers at quarterback. Running back is a spot that they upgraded as well. You have Matt Fuller coming back, but you've added Christian Clark from Texas, Jabri Coleman coming in from Penn State. Jawarn Howell's been with the program for a couple of years now. That receiver, it's Harbor, obviously, but there are a lot of young guys in there that were freshmen last year. I think they had like 6 guys in their freshman class at receiver last year. So those guys are back. You got Nitro Tuggle coming in from Purdue. He had 500 receiving yards last year. Pretty good player there. And you got Mazio Bennett, who I think is kind of like a guy that I think is going to be flying under the radar. Didn't really do a ton last year. Had a pretty solid freshman year. I think this is a guy that really could be an underrated factor in this offense this year. So a lot of new pieces, but it really does not matter unless that offensive line is halfway decent this year.
Hey, Jack Veltri, you have Gamecock Central, and time's tight for us. So question for you on the way out here, and I appreciate you. And by the way, congratulations on being engaged. That's pretty next level. You're good. You're a quality young man. I'm proud of you. From that perspective, is Beamer going to be voted off the island, or are they do enough in the offseason for him to kind of quiet the storm there and win some games?
Yeah, they need to. I think the temperature's still hot, but that's just because games haven't been played yet, right? Now, if things go poorly this season, then I think we start talking about, all right, temperature's only probably getting hotter. This question comes up a lot. What is it going to take for him to keep his job heading into 27? I don't know the exact answer because I'm not Jeremiah Donati. I don't know what is going on inside his head and what he perceives as the athletics director of what is a good season for this program. But if you're asking me, Jack Belcher, if you ask me, I think somewhere in the neighborhood of winning 8+ games gets it done. 7 or less doesn't really, it's a better year than last year getting back to a bowl game, but it doesn't really tell you like, oh, this team is on the way up. It's just middle of the pack. 8 wins are better. A chance to be competing for a college football playoff spot. All right. You keep them going to 27. But, truth be told, I just don't know if getting to a bowl game is going to be enough for this program this year. So they'll have a chance to get off to a good start. I think the first half of the schedule sets up very favorably outside of going to Alabama. It's just, games like first game against Tennessee after the bye week. That's going to really set the tone for the second half of the year. And that's a game that South Carolina will really need to win if they're going to have a decent season.
Phil Steele kind of picked it, which kind of blew my mind, but it was like really bizarre. Matt, did he make us a prohibitive underdog in like his personal line, or was I imagining that a couple weeks back?
I can't remember exactly
it was odd.
What his line was, but it's a scheduling dynamic game with South Carolina's coming off a bye, and I think it's Tennessee's 8th game in 8 weeks with their bye coming the next week. So that kind of skews it a little bit, I think, and that's where Phil really adjusts his lines, maybe more than he should for stuff like that. But it's one of those where South Carolina will have a huge scheduling edge in that department, and we've talked about how kind of fluky a lot of the Tennessee South Carolina games have been, especially in Columbia. So that it's certainly one to keep in mind. It's not going to be an easy game for Tennessee.
Oh no! Especially, look, a guy can play, and when you have a quarterback like that, you're in any game. I mean, we saw that last year. You have a high variance too. I mean, obviously in this league from week to week, but that guy can really play, and he's really fun to watch, and he looks like a great kid too. So, Jack, quick question for you on the way out here. Is he going to make it off the island or no? Or is he going to stay? Survivor here.
I think Shane's here going into next season. If you ask me, I think South Carolina's probably I think they're like an 8-4 team with a chance to go 9-3. I don't think this is a playoff team. I need to see it to believe it.
I think they're good. I have a sneaking suspicion that you guys are in for a good season this year. I don't know why.
I think they're going to be
good. Yeah, I think they are too. I appreciate you. You're my main man. Tell the living listener how they can find you, Jack Veltri, and congratulations.
No, thanks for the kind words on congratulations for the engagement. Thanks so much. You can follow me on Twitter, Jack T Veltri. Veltri is my last name. Go to GamecockCentral.com. We're with the On3 Network. Heck, if any of your listeners are subscribed to VolQuest, we're under the same roof as them with On3.
Bang.
So come check us out. We have some good stuff over there, and looking forward to Tennessee and South Carolina playing each other again. It's been too long, man.
Jack Veltri, I love you. You're my man. Thank you, brother. Congratulations.
I love you too, man. Thanks so much. Appreciate you.
Hey, Maddie, Josh Heupel just met the depressed. He called the Arian Carter ruling, and I quote, "It's bull blank," and said the word into the microphone. I don't know what's happened to our Josh Heupel, Matt, but he's like a male dog. He's dropping his stones with the media, Matt, and I got time for it.
Yeah, it's good to see. I'm glad he's opening up a little bit and fighting back some of this stuff in a public setting in front of the media. He's to let his personality come out. So yeah, I love that he says that, because it's a ridiculous thing to selectively enforce in an era where basically nothing's enforceable, and there are no rules, and the rules continue to change based on court rulings seemingly weekly.
And if the kid Carter had something to give Danny White, in other words, in future earnings, and they thought they could squeeze some money out of him, they'd be fighting for him. But they're not. They're not fighting for him because he's only a great kid that went to 2 consecutive media days. And, I mean, at the end of the day, why fight for him? Why fight for him? At any rate, I love Matt Diskin. I want to thank Jack Veltri for appearing on the High Noon Hotline. We love you. No High Noon overtime today. But here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, William Pattison Avenue.
To FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
And it's about the fact that you take your eye off the prize in major college sports and you just don't know where this thing is going and what's going to happen. And I'm to the point now where I think it's ridiculous
as where we are. And by the way, I'm in my